Okay. So our next presenter will discuss his study on the effect of dataset quantity and feature variability on machine learning performance for ECG-based diabetes prediction. So the authors of this study are Muhammad Ramadhani, Dodon Turianto Nugrahadi, Muhammad Reza Faisal, Mulyadi Dwi Kartini, Friska Abadi, Favorisen Rosking Lumbranraha. So let's now hear for the presentation from Muhammad Ramadhani.
Okay, thank you for the time. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muhammad Ramadhani from Lambung Mangkurat University. Today, I am honored to present our research entitled Effect of Dataset Quantity and Feature Variability on Machine Learning Performance for ECG-based diabetes prediction. This work is a collaboration with my co-authors, Dr. Yanto Nukrahadi, Muhammad Rida Faisal, Mulyadi, Dwi Kartini, Priska Abadi, and Favorizon Rosking Rumban Raja from Lambung Mangkurat University and University of Lampung. Next. Background. Diabetes is known as a silent killer, often undiagnosed in its early stage and leading to severe complications like cardiovascular, neuropathy, and kidney failure. According to the International Diabetes Federation, in the year 2021, more than 537 million adults were living with diabetes. In this number is projected to increase to 783 million by the year 2045. Conventional glucose monitoring, such as finger pricks, suffer from limitation like pain, risk of infection, high cost, and poor patient compliance. Next. Recent research has explored non-invasive alternatives. For example, optical methods like near-infrared spectroscopy or NIR are non-invasive but face challenges with calibration and accuracy. Another promising approach is the use of ECG signals, which are easy to record and suitable for continuous monitoring. Diabetes detection with ECG only achieve moderate accuracy between 65% and 79%. Moreover, there is a clear research gap. Our study addressed this gap by using artifact detection for ECG segmentation and evaluating the impact of dataset size and feature variability on three classical classifiers. They are SVM, KNN, and DT. Next. Based on this motivation, our study sets out four main objectives. First, to develop a non-invasive diabetes detection approach using ECG signals. Second, to analyze the effect of dataset quantity and feature variability on model performance. Third, to evaluate the performance of simple classifiers with different configuration. And the last, to identify the optimal setup for accurate and efficient ECG-based diabetes prediction. Next. For this study, we used the Dynamo dataset, which is publicly available on the Catgirl platform. This dataset was originally collected using the Zipper bioharness tree. The datasets include two groups of participants, 20 healthy individuals and 9 individuals with type 1 diabetes. Since the dataset is imbalanced, we selected a balanced subset of 9 healthy and 9 diabetic participants, giving us 10 participants in total. Each participant contributes ECG data recorded across 4 different days, producing around 10 hours of continuous signal per session. In total, our analysis focused on 72 ECG recordings. Next, our research methodology consists of 4 main phases: a sound and the flowchart, dataset, then processing, then classification, then validation, and evaluation metrics. Next, here we can see the raw ECG signal before filtering. The signal contains strong noise component that can reduce classification performance. To address this, we applied a bandpass filter, a notch filter, and a low pass filter. Next, yeah. The next step is RPIC detection, which plays a central role in ECG analysis. In this study, we implemented the FindPix algorithm from the Dosify library with carefully tuned parameters for height, gap, and prominence. Next, after RPIC detection, we performed window selection and segmentation. For each ECG recording, we divided the signal into several segments and identified the one containing the maximum number of RPs. This window represents the most active and information-rich portion of the signal. From this window, we extracted fixed link segment aligned to RPs. This design allows us to systematically analyze the effect feature variability on classification performance. For split data, we apply stratified 5-fold post-validation with 80 to 20 for trend and test. Next, in this study, we applied 3 classical algorithms. The first is PM with RBF kernel for high dimensional data. 2. KNN with key equal to teeth using Euclidean distance. And plus DT with Gini index which provides an interpretable hierarchical structure. Next, here we can see the ECG signal after filtering. The processing stage successfully removed low frequency noise, power line interference at 50 Hz, and advanced high frequency artifacts. As a result, the ECG waveform become much more stable and easier to interpret. Next, as shown in the table, we combined different dataset size, ranging from 2,000 up to 10,000 rows, with four feature link: 500, 1,000, 1,300, and 1,600 samples. Its configuration served as TSP with class label 0 for healthy and 1 for diabetes type 1. Next, here are the results of our experiment. Overall, the DT model consistently achieved the highest performance from KNN and SPM, with a maximum accuracy of 85.3% using 5,000 samples and 500 features. The KNN classifier also performed strongly, reaching 83.9% accuracy at 6,000 samples with 500 features. Meanwhile, the SPA model saw stable performance across all configurations, with its best accuracy of around 73%. Next, here we can see the comparison of the 3 classifiers. The T model achieved the highest reference accuracy at 81.27%, outperforming KNN and SPM. This indicates that the DT is more reliable in handling ECG signal classification for diabetes detection compared to the other two algorithms. Next, let's look at the effect of feature link. The best accuracy was achieved with 500 features, reaching about 79%. However, when the feature length increased to 1,600, accuracy dropped to around 73%. This shows that more features don't always improve performance. Next,
892965.
now regarding dataset size, increasing the number of rows from 2,000 to 6,000 slightly improved accuracy, but beyond that point, performance tended to stagnate. This confirms that simply adding more data is not enough. Proper model design and feature management are equally important. Next, we also perform a pilot t-test to compare the significance of the results. The test confirmed that DT significantly outperformed both KNN and SPM with a p-value of 0.0001. Additionally, KNN performed significantly better than SPM with a p-value of 0.009. Next, in conclusion, our key contribution is demonstrating that classical models like DT can still be very competitive for HCG-based diabetes prediction. Our best result was an accuracy of 85.3% using 5,000 samples with 500 features. Although our dataset is relatively small, the findings open opportunities for future work, including ensemble method, transfer learning, and multimodal approach. We believe SDG-based machine learning is a feasible and cost-effective option for non-invasive diabetes screening. Next, maybe. Yes.
Okay, thank you
Next.
for your presentation. So may the floor is open now for the question and answer portion. Any volunteer? Okay, so we have here again from Muhammad Zaisia. So his question is, your results show that decision tree achieved the highest accuracy. Could you explain why this model performed better compared to SVM and KNN?
Uh, okay. Decision tree achieved the highest accuracy mainly because it is very flexible and capable of handling non-linear relationship in the CG data. The CG signals we use contain complex patterns, and decision tree can adapt by splitting the dataset hierarchically into smaller, meaningful parts. It allowed the model to capture subtle difference between healthy and diabetic participants more effectively. Another factor is that DT is less sensitive to parameter tuning compared to SPM and KNN. For instance, SPM requires careful kernel and hyperparameter settings, while KNN depends strongly on the value of key and the distance metric. In contrast, DT can work relatively well even without extensive tuning, which is an advantage with working with limited dataset like ours.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Mr. Muhammad Ramadhani. So we now proceed with our next